It's the year 1979. Hong Kong has established its dominance in the markets in the Asian region, and the growth seems never ending. Meanwhile, just a few kilometers away, something big is going to emerge. Something that nobody expected. Something that has never been done before. From tranquil shores to towering skyscrapers, this is the incredible story of Shenzhen's evolution, and you won't want to miss it. This is Shenzhen, a city located just a river away from Hong Kong. Shenzhen looked like this in the 1980s, and this is how it looks now. From being a fishing village to a behemoth in the global economic forefront, the city's tale of growth is no less than a miracle. It took just 40 years for Shenzhen from being 1 by 500 of Hong Kong's GDP to beating Hong Kong's GDP. The growth is so fast that the term Shenzhen speed has become a metaphor for the fastest executions happening around the world. Shenzhen's growth is 3 days per floor in infrastructure development for 40 years consistently. Let's see how Shenzhen achieved it.
Chapter 1. The Initiation Stage. Before the 1980s, China's economy was almost exclusively based on national self sufficiency, with international trade seen to be a corrupting influence. But the paramount leader, Deng Xiaoping, had a completely different vision for China, the vision to foster China's economic development by opening the doors of China to the world. He introduced China to its first special economic zone, Shenzhen. But why was Shenzhen chosen at first? And what made Shenzhen a success despite having no presence in the world market till early 1980s? Well, let's go with the first question. Why Shenzhen? With Hong Kong just across the river, there was easy access to a global trading hub, shipping, and logistics. These factors, combined with cheap labor availability, made the city a hotspot for setting up supply chains. Now, the second question. What made it a success? Special policies for special economic zones introduced by the government. That included tax exemptions for companies setting up plants in Shenzhen. There were special tax exceptions which made companies prefer to move to Shenzhen. Reducing of custom duties, which pushed import and export across China and reduced friction for global trade. Reduced prices of land, making it easier to set up infrastructure for housing and industry. Increased flexibility to negotiate labor contracts and financial contracts, thereby providing better legal support to industries and making it easier for workers to get wages. Chapter 2. The Industrial Growth Stage. China's strategy of choosing the economic zone in proximity to Hong Kong was a hit, and it enabled the industrial growth in Shenzhen, with enterprises in Hong Kong cutting their supply chains and shifting high labor intensive part to Shenzhen. It started when the Hong Kong based China Merchants Group established the Shekou Industrial Zone in China. The Shekou Industrial Zone was the first export processing industrial zone in mainland China, and it attracted a large number of foreign companies to set up manufacturing operations in the city. Shenzhen started developing as a processing powerhouse and joined the global industrial value chain from the bottom by manufacturing primary industrial products. What is a primary industrial product? For example, in the case of garments industry, cotton or yarn or wool would come into the case of primary industrial products. This growth in the initial stage was fueled by heavy labor forces migrating from mainland China to Shenzhen, which enabled foreign investments due to cost effective cheap labor. With foreign investment filling Shenzhen's municipal treasury, it was time for the government to act. They acted to make Shenzhen bigger with a market oriented approach to urban development. Infrastructure projects like ports, power supply, roads, and telecommunication facilities were established in a fast manner. In 1984, the electronics giant Foxconn opened its first factory in Shenzhen. Foxconn is now one of the largest employers in Shenzhen and produces a wide range of electronic products, including smartphones, tablets, or laptops. This move made a change in Shenzhen's growth, moving it to the next stage of growth. Chapter 3: The New World Technological Growth Stage. In the early 90s, the global restructuring of electronic and information industries was happening, and alternatives for manufacturing were being searched for across the globe. Shenzhen saw it as an opportunity to upgrade its labor intensive processing to capital and technological intensive advanced manufacturing. As a result, the manufacturing of electronic and telecommunication devices expanded rapidly in Shenzhen, moving the city up to the lower middle position of the global industrial chain. For example, it's now more of a garment manufacturer rather than just a raw material supplier. Shenzhen's willingness to adapt to changing market conditions is one of the major factors contributing to its establishment as a manufacturing hub. During this era, Shenzhen entered a new stage of entrepreneurship with improved infrastructure and functions. And the dominant factors fostering development were the capital and institutional innovations. Apart from manufacturing, Shenzhen started diversifying into other sectors, including finance, which was a prominent move as it now stands as the eighth most competitive financial center in the world. Shenzhen set up the Securities Corporation of Shenzhen SEZ, which issued stocks to the public and became the pioneer in the Chinese security market. In July 1990, Shenzhen finally established the Securities Registry Corporation and Shenzhen Stock Exchange, and it finally moved to legalize and standardize the Shenzhen security market, with Shenzhen establishing itself on multiple fronts. A large number of companies from around the world started moving in. Here are a few companies that have a headquarter or big office or factory in Shenzhen. DJI, one of the largest drone companies, is headquartered here. In fact, many drone companies that are in China have actively encouraged this industry in the city. Huawei, the telecom giant, is also headquartered in Shenzhen. Tencent, a global multinational offering a large number of internet products and services as well as gaming entertainment, is another giant entertainment corporation established here. Foxconn, the world's largest contract manufacturer and company who makes all those iPhones, has a huge factory in Shenzhen. BYD, an electric vehicle manufacturer and company who makes all the buses and most taxis you will see across China, and also which is called the Tesla of China, is also based out of Shenzhen.
Chapter 4: The Maturity Stage. With rapid developments, Shenzhen faced a problem which most of the megacities face: overpopulation. The land cost continued to soar. The per capita freshwater volume was only one fourth of the national average, making Shenzhen one of the seven Chinese cities with a severe water shortage. The ballooning population aggravated city issues like environmental pollution, congestion, and worsening public safety. With increasing cost of living, the influx of labor decreased. And since the supply of labor decreased, the cost of labor increased. These increasing land and labor costs were slowly pushing Shenzhen into a growth halt. This is when the local authorities started transforming policies. These transformation in policies can be divided into two sections. First, the policies favorable for the new and emerging industries, and second, the policies forcing innovations for inefficient industries. Let's discuss the first one first. So, the government introduced policies to boost bioindustry as well as internet related sectors. New energy, new materials, culture and innovation, and a new generation of information technology, among others. And on the other hand, the high polluting and high energy consumption industries were either forced to transform or relocate their businesses. The main purpose for the above policies was to shift Shenzhen from capital infused growth to innovation led growth, from being a manufacturing hub to being a innovation hub. While the obsolete getting industries were being removed, the infrastructure for high tech and innovation centered industries was developed. And this is what begins the next chapter, the innovation led growth phase. Chapter 5: The Innovation Led Growth Phase. With the improving urban infrastructure and functions, the building of the institutional software and hardware environment, and the reinforcing cycle of innovation, the focus on research and development kept on increasing, and Shenzhen began to move up to the middle and upper reaches of the global industrial chain. For an example, considering garments industry, now Shenzhen is introducing the world to the next generation of fabrics that will be used by the world in the future. This is because of the increasing foreign direct investment in the form of venture capital, which bolstered the growth of private enterprises in Shenzhen, which led to more research and development spend, shipping Shenzhen out of the capital intensive city to product focused innovation hub, crowning it the name China's Silicon Valley. Talking about the future, Shenzhen has shown the rapid change in policies and well thought urban planning to achieve this growth. With now it being at the top of the global value chain, leading on innovations front, they will be expected to remain on the run and making for the world with more worldwide spread business emerging from the city, seeing the high rate of startups happening in this mega city. However, there are factors that could hinder this dream run too. These factors include rising labor cost, over reliance on exports, and political instability. Now, rising labor cost is a concern because Shenzhen's economy is built on low labor cost. But this competitive advantage is slowly disappearing as countries like Vietnam and Bangladesh are entering into the market as a cheaper alternative. Point number two is the over reliance on exports. Shenzhen's economy is heavily dependent on exports, and if there is a decline in global demand, the products of Shenzhen could have a significant impact on the city's economy. Now, any country in the world gets unstable in terms of economic point of view if it is politically unstable, and China can be a no wonder. So, political instability in China could also have a negative impact on Shenzhen's economy. Now, the final and key problem is the real estate bubble. Evergrande, which is one of the largest real estate players, was on the brink of destruction until the Chinese government came in as a savior. As one of the most expensive real estate markets in China, Shenzhen has been experiencing a bubble for several years, and this poses a major risk for the future of Shenzhen, with lots of construction projects unfinished or lots of finished projects inhabited. Moving on to the conclusion and sharing our opinion, Shenzhen's journey is not just a local story, but a global inspiration. It showcases the remarkable impact of visionary leadership, bold policies, and the unrelenting spirit of innovation. We believe Shenzhen has tackled the issue faced historically pretty well and will continue to do so in the future. And it is well positioned to grow in the future. Also, in case Shenzhen fails, the path to Shenzhen's growth will be the reason for its fall down. The doors to China that were opened must be closed by the world to break Shenzhen. Until then, it will continue to rise and be an inspiration to the world. That's our point of view. Drop yours in the comments below. And that's the story of Shenzhen for you. Let's meet you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video to spread inspiration.